We're intending to do as much as possible of that process, starting from the mining and going through to the processing itself. So, as you mentioned, China is the world leader in this, and the US is currently producing zero of the rare earths required for defense and for advanced manufacturing capabilities. And we've just released our upgraded PEA last week on the Round Top deposit in Texas, and it's among the lowest operating projects in the world. So we're very fortunate to have that. And we've got just a litany of materials there, including 15 of the 17 rare earths, an abundance of lithium and other high-tech and industrial materials.
So why is it that China is the leader in rare earths? Because it's come up a couple times since the trade war has, I guess, begun. You know, whenever Trump decided that the trade war was on, that rare earths could be caught up in this fight. But why is it that China has been the leader? Is it because of environmental standards? Is it because of capital intensity?
Well, initially, to be quite frank, it was that China saw the opportunity and what rare earths were going to mean to the world as far as advanced manufacturing. And I think
so was this like the 2010-11 kind of bubble where we saw a lot of those companies come up and then go away?
Yeah, indeed. But I think it's, and I'd love to address the trade war as well and how that's affected that, but I think it goes back beyond 20, 30 years when Xi Jinping said, he made a statement that the Middle East has oil and China has rare earths. And I think that went completely over everyone's head. And in fact, China purchased manufacturing capabilities for rare earth magnets out of the United States and brought that technology and personnel over to China. And unfortunately, the US and the rest of the world were slow to catch on. But the trade war, what that's done is, and I should emphasize, this is not about the trade war. What the trade war has done is it's brought it into the national conversation. But this is about the US requiring its own domestic source for rare earth production. In fact, it's a non-partisan issue as well, where you've got even President Obama during his administration adding 2 of the critical rare earths to the stockpile list. And then obviously President Trump invoking the Defense Production Act for the first time since the 1950s. So the US has woken up and understands that this is a very critical time as far as not only developing its own domestic production of rare earths, but the future of clean energy, electrical vehicles, etc. And
you know, sorry, I'm just very curious. This is an important question. What about Greenland?
What about Greenland?
Come on. Isn't the whole point of President Trump wanting to buy Greenland rare earth metals?
I can't speak to that, but I'll tell you.
Do they have them there? Was he even vaguely right?
There are rare earth assets there, which I'm not too familiar with, but I think we've got to start here first. So we can't expect to keep relying on overseas projects.
Particularly Greenland, or maybe including Greenland. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Obviously, the U.S. is very far behind right now. Let's say you can start mining, which is happening at Mountain Pass. There is no capacity right now. People say there's no knowledge. All of the IP to actually do the producing and the refining is outside of this country. And where are you, even if you want to be able to produce and refine here, there's a lot of environmental issues around that as well, but where are you going to get the knowledge to be able to do that here in this country?
Right. So first, it's important to make the differentiation with different projects, because people tend to throw out the word rare earth, and there are different types of rare earths. You have the 2 main categories are light rare earths and heavy rare earths. So Mountain Pass has light rare earths, some which may or may not have applications to defense and advanced manufacturing. I'll leave that for them to talk about. The key is having those critical rare earths, or those rare earths that have defense applications and critical...
Dysprosium, I mean, some of the harder rare earths to get.
But that's quite good.
Cesium, no, that's not one.
Right.
I got my rare earths right.
But there are technologies we are not using for Round Top. We are not using any new technology. We're using technology that's been around for many years, which is a continuous ion exchange. There are several companies in the US that provide that. As far as sort of more the downstream, our strategy right now is first to get our materials into a rare earth concentrate, and what we do from there, whether or not we've got to bring in perhaps one of the Japanese or Korean magnet manufacturers to assist with that. It's not a lot of money, especially when you're talking about the need here in the US and what Round Top can produce. I mean, Round Top has a resource that'll go well beyond 100 years. So to come in and build a magnet manufacturing plant in the US is not something sort of that's out of the question. There are capabilities here as far as processing, at least for the materials at Round Top. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next 12 months is actually, during our feasibility study stage, doing that processing work and optimization.
How did you get into this business, by the way?
So I've been in and out of the mining space for close to 20 years. And
an Australian miner?
Well,
right?
I've been living in the US for over 20 years, but with Australian companies and with non-Australian companies. And I was introduced to the Round Top project about a year and a half ago. And it's just, the first thing I looked at was, I said, the numbers are unbelievable.
Right.
And the one thing that we don't sort of disclose in our economic evaluation or include in there is we're sitting on the largest beryllium deposit in the world, which is underground.
So you know all about that, I'm sure.
Right. Definitely know all the applications for beryllium.
Neodymium.
So it was a
Show
That's
off.
another one.
No, that's good.
yeah. So it was a very interesting project, but from a geological standpoint, not only having sort of the litany of materials there, but also the ease of which this can be mined, which is very different to Mountain Pass and other rare earth projects in the world where we can essentially heap leach it. So our cost of operating the project and production is far lower than anything outside of China.